Chandra from the NR Hour Sports Show. This is episode 843, joined by a really special guest. His name is Albert Haynesworth. He's a former defensive tackle for the Titans, Washington football team, New England Patriots, and Buccaneers. Really looking forward to this interview. He went to college at Tennessee, two-time Pro Bowl. First of all, Albert, thanks for joining the show. It's truly an honor. How are you and your family doing today?
We're good. Just hanging out, really.
Yeah, so I want to start off with your childhood growing up, and when did you get interested in playing sports? And obviously, before choosing football, did you get to play any other sports? And who was your role model in the sports industry?
I started playing sports, or basically football, at the age of 6, and never missed a year until I retired. So, I played other sports. I played t-ball. And I played some basketball because my family is big into basketball, so I played some basketball. But mostly I played football consistently.
So did you have like a role model growing up in the NFL while working on your craft?
Honestly, I didn't watch it that much, and then it wasn't until later on. Get down. It wasn't until later on where I started, watching Reggie White.
Yeah, so your dog. Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, so I want to ask you though. Obviously, coaches love to put players in multiple positions. In this generation, they like to put players in defense, offense, or whatever. So for you, while you were playing football, did you get to play offense too, or just only defense in high school before going to college?
Yeah, I played, start off with I think linebacker and then linebacker and running back all the way up until junior high. And then I just started playing just defensive tackle.
Oh, wow.
So, and then like in high school, I played defensive tackle and tight end.
Yeah. So speaking of that, what were the advantages for you? What did you like? What was the experience for you to learn offense and defense at the same time in high school? And obviously you get when you're on offense, obviously you read the defense, and when you're on defense, you read the offense. But what advantage did you get by playing multiple positions?
I didn't feel like I got really any advantages. Like, in high school right then, you're not reading anything. You're going with the play. Don't matter if it's stacked up. You got 10 guys on one side. You're still going to run that play, one guy on the other side. So it's like you're still going to run that play. Pretty much I just run a receiver in and have the receiver has a play, tells the quarterback, you line up and run that play. There was like no options, no check downs or anything like that. So, you just played the game, really.
Wow. Yeah, so take me back to your recruiting process. What was that like? And obviously you chose Tennessee. And how many offers did you get coming out of high school? And what made you choose Tennessee?
I probably could have went to anywhere I wanted to. I don't know how many offers. I was trying to hide away from so many people because I was getting like every day or whatever, there'd be some coach on the phone or something like that. So, I was just I like the way Tennessee felt. It felt like home. Obviously, because I'm still living here in Tennessee, but it was just a good place,
Yeah. So speaking of Tennessee, did you get to play with Peyton Manning? No, right?
No, he was gone.
Yeah. Yeah. So
played with T. Martin and Jamal Lewis.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Sean Ellis. A bunch of guys that went to the pros and had long careers.
So, as a player, what do you like about Tennessee? Obviously, they have a great fan base, and the Tennessee Volunteers, a great team. The team is growing now. But for you as a player, what did you like about the atmosphere playing in front of those fans?
Man, it was they're a really good team. They had over 107,000 people in the stands. We were packed. We were kind of. Not quite like Alabama of winning all the national championships, but we were like that type of a team.
Yeah.
We're really good. Expect to be, a really good season. I remember it was like my sophomore year and we lost 3 games, and they were talking about firing Coach Fulmer.
Wow.
3 games.
Hmm.
It was like my worst season. Other ones, were like, one loss during the season and stuff like that. So, we're just a really good football team, and we played great together and had a lot of fun.
Yeah. So what do you say? What do you say for you and your teammates playing in the SEC? Did that give you guys an extra boost of energy? Obviously, playing against high level competition. Did you like? Did you like playing in the SEC? What was that like?
Well, at that point, you don't even notice it, to be honest. But yeah, you got probably the best talent is in the SEC. The most complete teams that that are close to NFL teams. So, but you didn't really notice that, while you're playing. But now I think it's becoming more recognizable.
Hmm. So now, obviously, getting to your draft experience, what was that like? Getting drafted in 2002, round 1, pick 15. And you didn't have to go far because you got drafted by the Tennessee Titans. What was it like waiting with your family? Did you get invited to the draft combine and the draft green room, or?
I didn't even think I wanted to go, to be honest. I was just like, I'll do it at home, do it in Knoxville, and do it that way so I can have everybody I want there.
So yeah, so what was it like spending time with your family and waiting for your name to get called, and finally when Tennessee came ringing on your phone, what was it feeling like?
It was a good feeling, nervous, you're leaving something that you've known, for almost 3 years to something you don't know. So even it was great that it's close, so I could, like in my off season or off time, I could always just drive right back to Knoxville and hang out. But other than that, yeah, it was a great, great feeling, to continue my career in football.
Yeah, so I got to ask you this before we get to your Tennessee career. What was the first thing that you guys did as a family after you got drafted?
Yeah, my family's not crazy. We didn't do anything. I just uh, I'm sure we had dinner somewhere, and nothing crazy. Like my mom, she already had, she makes good money, so it was nothing like that. I bought her like cars and stuff later on, and things like that. We do like investments, but my mom's not a big, I guess, flashy person or anything. So she didn't really want anything other than like I bought her a car. Later in my career, my 2 brothers, and I was like a Mercedes, and she wanted to trade it in because she said it was too flashy. So
Wow. Yeah, so
that's
now,
how that worked.
yeah. Uh-oh. Your screen for, oh, there you go. All right. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, as a rookie heading into Tennessee camp, obviously you see players like Steve McNair, Keith Bullock, Derek Mason, Javon Curse, and you play with Eddie George too. And what was it like playing with these great players, awesome veterans, and you guys had a great team, stacked roster.
Yeah, it was awesome to see see all these stars right there together. See how big Eddie George was, and Javon Curse, him being one of my really good friends, and actually like Keith is probably one of my best friends that we talk a lot, hang out a lot. He's here in Nashville, so I was going out. Like actually, I just had breakfast at his cafe, his coffee cafe. So yeah, like we stay close, and pretty much everybody, like on that team, like I'm pretty close friends with. That still have friends with. So it was good, and to come in there, but I'm a young pup, and I got to prove myself, and they love what I showed, so they enjoyed it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna ask you this. This is a 2-part question, and Would you have you like? Did you ever think that you could have stayed with Tennessee throughout your whole career? And how tough was it from moving to team? But you got to play with some great or other great organizations throughout your career.
I would have loved to stay at Tennessee, but of course, like the NFL is a business, so you got to pay good market for you got to pay like the market for the player, and they weren't offering anything close to that. So we had to kind of go where we had to go. I let my agent do all that numbers and things like that. So, but yeah, I would have definitely chose to stay with Tennessee if I could have.
Yeah, so I gotta ask you, what was it like playing underneath Coach Jeff Fisher in your career?
Yeah, Jeff was good, and he's a good coach. He's like a player's coach type. So, it was good. It was really good. I had no complaints. I still just heck, probably a couple weeks ago, I saw Jeff and talked to him for a good 30 minutes or so. Like I said, like the Nashville Titans stuff, it was clean. It was it was just like down to earth. There was no sideshow. We were just out there playing football. Not everywhere else, but like the next team I went to, it was just like a sideshow. It was like a joke. So I love the Tennessee scene. That's why I moved back here and got good friends here and good connections.
Yeah, so I gotta ask you though. Speaking of Tennessee, HBCU schools is growing now. Like with Deion Sanders at Jackson State University, and now you have Eddie George coaching Tennessee State with Jeff Fisher's on the staff, Hugh Jackson's on the staff. So what's it like seeing the growth of HBCU schools now?
It's great, man. That's great. About time, because we got there's a lot of talent in those, and you don't have to go, as much media and stuff like that this day. You don't have to go to a big university to get discovered. Like there's a lot of guys that come out of HBCUs that's getting discovered. Like one, I can't remember his name, but he got drafted like first round to the Colts from South Carolina State. Great athlete, and I think he was like, won rookie defensive player of the year or something. He was dominant. So, that's just an awesome look. And, of course, coming from South Carolina, that's like just an awesome look for HBCUs. So, if the kids, you don't have to go to like some big major university. You just want to go somewhere you feel comfortable. You're going to play. You're going to get developed as a player, by some great coaches and do it.
Yeah. So obviously you play for Washington. So I got to ask you this. I'm a big Dallas Cowboy fan. So what was it like competing in the NFC East, playing against my Cowboys, Giants throughout your carear?
The whole like going to Dallas, like that was like wow. That stadium, man, it was unbelievable. It was just totally unbelievable. Like playing against, I guess, America's team, and like that rivalry. I wouldn't say it's like real, like oh my gosh, but it's still somewhat of a rivalry. We sucked. So all I was out there to do is like, hey, go play, and don't worry about the score. Just go do my thing.
So obviously now, but I want to ask now after Washington, you played for New England, and obviously New England is the first-class organization when it comes to these players, and you got to play with Bill Belichick, Tom Brady. What was that atmosphere like playing in New England and in Gillette Stadium?
It was great. It was like complete 180 from Washington. It was like a seriously very, very, very structured, almost military-ish type environment. But they're great people. Like I have no knock on Bill Belichick. I think he's a great coach, super smart, definitely the smartest coach that I ever played for. Just to know, like every facet of the game that he knows. I mean, he can coach every position with confidence and be better than any position coach.
Right.
Like, I mean, like that was pretty impressive. And then Tom Brady, man, like I defend him when people try to talk trash. I mean, like I almost want to get in a fight with somebody that's talking trash
Oh
about
my
Tom
God.
Brady, because Tom Brady is a great human being. Like have many conversations with him. I would consider him a friend. I mean, just a great human being, and and to me, he is the GOAT. Like,
Yeah.
he is the greatest quarterback to ever play the game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, my feelings there. It's just my situation. I didn't get along with my D-line coach.
Okay.
I thought he was a joke, personally. Like, the guy he didn't coach anything. He didn't coach anything. It was always like joking and laughing, and then
Wow.
then Bill comes in to, then teach, and then that's when I would learn something. So it's only like, I mean, like, dude's always just joking and laughing. Like, I can't stand that. Like, I'm a new player. Like, I don't know this stuff, so I need you to teach it. But he wasn't like that, so that's why I didn't respect him whatsoever.
Yeah. So I gotta ask you though, as a defense, obviously you play with Patrick Chung, and so I gotta ask you, as a defense, what was it like?
Yeah, Chung was like actually one of my neighbors too. He's a great player too. I mean, like, just like he was younger then, and now you see how he developed into like a great player for the Patriots.
Yeah. So as a defense with Vince Wilfork too, another great legend, and so knowing that you have Tom Brady as your quarterback, all you have to do is get three downs. I mean, three out, three fourth, and then get to fourth and down, and then fourth down, and give the ball to Tom Brady. So what was it? What was that like, Joe? Knowing that you have an all-star quarterback, all you have to do is get three downs and give it back to your offense.
Yeah, that was awesome. That's something kind of never really had, other than with Steve McNair.
Yeah.
But have like the greatest quarterback of all time to be that. I mean, that's a great feeling. Like, I never had a team where I felt that the offense was better than the defense, but that team, the offense was better than the defense.
Right. Yeah. So how ironic is it now? Obviously, you played for the Buccaneers too, and they won the Super Bowl with Tom Brady and Gronk, and you play with Gronk too in New England. So how ironic is it that you play for both teams, but Tom Brady has two Super Bowl rings with the same team?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I wasn't surprised. I told people, I said it might take them a year, but I said, don't count them out. Don't count them out. Like, and they're building around him. I mean, like, I'm telling you, Tom is a great guy, and they're going to, like, for a team really to listen, like, to put, great players around him. That was the one thing that I think that got soured with him and the Patriots, is because, he's taking all these pay cuts.
Yeah.
Like, he's never been the highest paid quarterback, or second highest, or third highest, or anything like that. I mean, you got everybody else making more money than him, and he's taking these pay cuts for them to build a team, and they're not really building a team around them. So, like, he's like, the hell with it. Like, I'm out sacrificing my money for you not to even try to build a team. So he goes to Tampa. They already got two amazing receivers, and then you add Gronk, and you got your line secured up. I mean, they started building around him immediately. And what did you get? You get a freaking Super Bowl. Yeah. Like, the guy is incredible. Like I said, I'm a huge Tom Brady fan. If I had to, like, pick a player right now who I cheer for Tom Brady.
Yeah, so actually, we went to this event a couple of weekends ago. It's called the Football Legends Camp event, and we got to meet some of the Buccaneers coaching staff. Kevin, I'm sure you know Kevin Ross, a former NFL player, and he's a defensive coach for Tampa Bay, and Lori Lacoste, she's a female defensive coach for Tampa Bay, and the Tampa Bay coaching staff is amazing over the years. And I want to ask you, what was the experience playing in Tampa? Because they have this is another great organization. Obviously, they know the right way how to build, like New England. So, what was the experience like in Tampa for you?
Well, we didn't have the coaching staff that they got now. I mean, we were not that good. Yeah. I mean, we were super young. I mean, it had great facilities and things, but we were super young, so it didn't quite go that way like Tampa. But I mean, yeah, it's the location, everything. I mean, I could see Tom. I mean, if he had moved there like a couple of years ago or something, I mean, I could see them winning like a bunch of Super Bowls. I mean, I think they're still a contender, still the contender this year, and I think they're probably more to take it. Everybody be going against Mahomes again, but I mean, I still would say they're a favorite. So as long as he stay there, and as long as they, they stay healthy,
Right.
they will be a dominant team.
So for you, what would you say your most memorable games were with each of the teams that you play with, and what was your most favorite city to play in?
One of my most favorite city is definitely Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
Playing at home, and we're good. Like first couple years we were really good, and then like my let's say my last few years we were good. Like my last year with the Titans we were really good. So I mean we're like 13-3 I think. So I mean those are definitely great times. That's when like the crowd was rocking. I mean they're good now, but their defense I don't think is that good.
Then they might have to call you back to come out of retirement.
Man, they play a whole different defensive scheme.
Yeah.
Play a whole different defensive scheme. Dude, stop chewing up stuff. Stop. Got my Yorkie over here, like freaking wants to take everything. But yeah, they have a whole different defensive scheme. And I mean, they brought in Schwartz to try to help. But I don't even think honestly, and I love Schwartz. Jim Schwartz was my defense coordinator with the Titans. I think he was I think he's just a ploy to bring in to take pressure off of what's his name? Vrabel for his defense. Because that's his defensive scheme that he's running. That's his defensive scheme. And to be honest, like his defense has never been that good. He was never good at Houston. Right. And it's, not good now. So, but they're going to bring Jim Schwartz in, and Jim, Schwartz, he runs a whole totally different, defense than that. So, I don't know. I mean, in the fake defensive coordinator hire, like I think that's a joke because that guy is not going to instill anything new. He's going to run Vrabel, so he put a bunch of layers between him for somebody he can blame on when the defense doesn't work.
Yeah. So, what would you say your most memorable game that you played in throughout your career?
Heck, I don't know. I played so many, I have no idea. Like, sometimes I'll see highlights and I'm like, oh man, I don't remember that. So no, it was always a battle with in the division. No, it was always a battle in the division. So sure, one of those games, or maybe like me sacking Favre like a couple times. I mean, Brett Favre is a great quarterback. Of course, Hall of Famer, and for me to sack him, or hit Aaron Rodgers or Peyton Manning or even Tom Brady, it's great. So.
Yeah, so looking back at your career, over 300 tackles, over 30 sacks, obviously two-time Pro Bowl. How grateful are you to be in this position to be able to play the game that you loved and get to your goal?
It was great. I just wish I could finish it like I wanted it to, but things happen, and you got to keep going on. Life goes on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was great to play in the NFL.
Yeah, so I want to ask you. I read a story where you donated a kidney. I think. Take me back to that.
No, I didn't donate a kidney. I received a kidney.
I received the kidney. Yeah. Well, take me back to that story and how did that go?
It went great. No, champ. It went great. No. I had my kidney was my kidneys were failing or had failed me. And so I was on on the donor list, or not a donor list, to receive a kidney.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put out, my doctor wanted me to put out the story. And so I did. And we had like over 2,000 something people call in to Vanderbilt. And, and so, they had to basically cipher through all of those people, and they found me a kidney that I just had the kidney transplant on April 15th of this year.
That's amazing. Wow. And and the recovery is going well?
No, I feel like I'm pretty much 100%.
Yeah, so that's amazing. And so if the right opportunity presents for yourself, would you consider coaching in the NFL or college?
Yeah, maybe like local here, college or something. I think I would possibly, but really like the one-on-one stuff.
Right.
Because I think a lot of people just focus mostly on X's and O's, and I think if you focus on developing your players and getting them right, that the X's and O's would take care of itself. So like you can't be like mostly into like the plays. You got to develop the players, and then you can see like, all right, you're gonna have some outstanding players. That's kind of how like it happened with me with the Titans. Like Schwartz would used to drop all these blitzes and things like that, and then he started realizing like, man, I got a like a dominant player up front. Like I'm just gonna let him do his thing. And then he talked to Keith and like, hey, just back him up. He's like, all right. So I mean, that's kind of what we did, and that's when he got his head coaching offers and stuff like that, because he took himself out of it, because a lot of coaches like, we're gonna run my system, my way, blah blah blah, and all that stuff. It doesn't work that way. Like unless you picking players for that system, like you could do that. But if you got like an all-star like player, then you should kind of build a system around them.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's the mark of that's the mark of a good player.
So so what advice would you give to young kids and young athletes that are trying to get to their goals too?
Keep working hard. Keep working hard, and I mean, it's a grind. The LeBrons and the Toms and all that stuff that you see on on TV.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen overnight. You see the finished product of it, but you don't see the thousands and thousands of hours that these guys have been training to hone their skills. Like, I mean, same thing with me. Like, you don't see that. You don't see all that. All you see is like the glitz and glamour. But to be a professional, it's more than just that glitz and glamour. It's them thousands of hours of stuff that you don't see that they're honing their craft. So if you want to be great at something, you need to work at it. And it ain't gonna happen overnight. It could take years, but you work at it and hone that craft and you get great, it could definitely happen.
Right. So the last two things here before I let you go, our team is part of this foundation called the Hugh Jackson Foundation. Obviously, former NFL coach, now the offensive coordinator at Tennessee State with Eddie George, and we're trying to help him prevent human trafficking and making sure the community stays safe and the kids stay safe. And we're really grateful to be part of his foundation. So I'll send that to you so you can go check it out.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, and the last thing here, would you like to say anything to all the nurses, doctors, and essential workers right now?
Yeah, man, thank you for putting your life on the line. I've had COVID, and I know how hard it is, and for you to be working in that situation, I mean, that's a blessing to go in there day in, day out to save lives, and it's a true blessing. And I mean, I'm hoping you guys are getting compensated for it, and really trying to take it easy now. I'm glad that it's on the downswing and things are happening. So yeah, God bless you guys. Just like the soldiers, God bless you guys for protecting our freedom.
Yeah, well said. And there it is. That wraps up episode 843 with former NFL defensive tackle Albert Haynesworth. Go follow him on all social media formats. He had a great career, obviously, and he does great things now off the field. And keep up the great work, man. Hopefully, you get a chance at coaching if you do decide to coach. But we would like to have you back as a returning guest so you can meet the full team later on down the line. But you and your family stay safe.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me on, bro.
Thank you.
All right.